What's
The
fun?
day the random gods
Here's
work
what's
in
gonna happen.
tandem with us,
I'm
will be
gonna
the
use
day
another random
just
picker, and I'm gonna go through every
finally gets
captain.
on
We're gonna
Skype and
randomize
tells
your
me
ship.
his age.
All your heavy guns are Minotaurs, and all the light guns are mines.
Oh
You
god.
get to decide everything else.
So, for those of you that don't fully understand the guns that are being used, you got the Minotaur, which is a heavy gun. There are
My
heavy
ship
and
is
light
a
guns.
Spire.
Heavy guns, well, I'm not gonna explain guns. Anyway, the Minotaur pushes. That's its thing.
I will be
It
checking
shoots a
everyone's
big,
ship
heavy,
just to make
invisible,
sure
slow
that,
push.
nobody cheated. I'll take care
And
of my ship.
if you hit the very edges
Like
of the
what?
ship's hitbox, it will rotate it faster.
will
So the
check
further
your
on the
ship
edges
as
you
soon as
hit
our
it,
guns
the
are ready.
faster the angular momentum of that affected ship will be.
Stealth, your ship is...
The idea is to disorient it and to take the ship's
also
trajectory
Spire.
away from you, as well as the gun arcs away from you. And the mines are mines.
Your ship is a Mobula.
So pushing ships into mines
Stealth, please
seems to
switch
be
to
the
Spire.
theme here.
Minotaurs
And these are two weapons that most people have not had enough experience
Your
to
ship's a
master.
Mobula. Yep.
So it should be interesting. Very interesting.
All mines.
So I understand it now as you can take any ship you want, and any combination of those allowable
Aerodona,
guns.
your ship is a goldfish.
Allowable, meaning the ship allows you to put them in its various slots. And I suppose allowed, meaning allowed by dust.
Corpse, your ship is a... I was about to say Minotaur. Your ship is a Junker.
Oh, it seems Dust is assigning the ships to the captains. He's randoming the ships for each crew. So the thing about the Junker is it has no heavy weapons. Ships that don't have heavy weapons would be the Pyramidian,
Sweet
the
Jesus.
Junker, and the
Double.
Mobula,
Your ship is a
and the Squid. Those four. The other three, the Goldfish, the Galleon, and the Spire, all have heavy weapons. So heavy ships with heavy weapons means they have
Let there be
Minotaurs,
hell.
and ships with no
Let
heavy
there be
weapons means
hell.
they're all mines. So if you notice the chat, they said Munker. Well, it's what's called a portmanteau,
Yeah,
where you
they-
smash
they
two words
built
together and get another word like automagically or crappuccino. And in this case, it's a mine junker.
Oh, Double, you're in for a treat.
It's about as accurate as you're gonna get.
So if you look at the, well, you can't because you're watching like a stream, but I'll tell you, the what's going on, the top right, the Spire, has got a Minotaur cannon as its front weapon. It's on the lower center of the ship. And it's got mine launchers facing various directions as its three side guns. So, yep. That's, never seen that before. That's why we hold these chaos skirmishes. So the red team, Force of Chaos, classic Dust Ninja ship, revamped for the particular rules of this match. It's the same thing as I just described in the other ship, because, you know, the random guns limit you to the types of loadouts you can have. So Spire is pretty much forced into having this one build. In fact, every ship is forced into having a build. Mobula means all mine Mobula, or mine Bula. Junker we covered, all mines. So basically, you got one Minotaur on the whole red team. Should be interesting. However, on the blue team, this is not at all the case. You do have the same Spire, same ship, so you're equally matched there. But you have, instead of a Mobula and Junker, a Goldfish and a Galleon. A Goldfish features a heavy gun right on the front in the direction it flies, with two oppositely facing side mine launchers. So it's pretty fairly covered, and the rotational speed of the Goldfish is pretty decent. So, pretty balanced ship. It can only launch two mine launchers full of mines at once. Each mine launcher, by the way,
Alright, let me check out your
can deploy 5 individual mines before the 6th mine replaces the first. And on to the last ship, the Galleon. Galleon's a huge wild card. It's a flying fortress, which is what I like to call ships with lots of health that are slow and have lots of guns. So clearly your firepower ship. No fewer than 6 guns, the most of any ship in the game. 4 Minotaur heavy cannons on the bottom deck. So you're gonna have one busy gunner downstairs. And
prepare for maximum pushing.
yeah, and then only 1 side mine launcher and 1 rear mine launcher. So the captain's gonna have to make creative use of those mine launchers. Gonna be doing mostly pushing, I imagine. But so the left side, you got insane deployment of mines. You got, let's see, you got 3 on the spire and 5 in the mobula, 5 in the junker. You're looking at, let's see, too many mines. No, that'd be 40, 55 mines deployable by the red team.
Wait.
And 15, 10, 25, 35 by the blue team. So what the blue team lacks in mines, it has to make up for in push.
I can't believe that.
Alright.
I can't believe it's not a potato.
You guys are ready? Ready?
No.
This
Seems like
this
we're
match is gonna take a while.
about to get there.
We gotta really plan out our proper mining strat.
So I have to ask you,
Those mad mining strats.
have you played the original Flight of the Icarus?
Unfortunately, I never got to do that. I was actually introduced to this game by a popular channel known as the Game Grumps. I really enjoyed their playthrough of this game, and that's kind of a game I've always been looking for, but unfortunately I haven't found it when it's in its original game, Flight of Icarus.
Have you heard about Guns of Icarus alliances?
I have not. Not under that title, anyway. I may have heard of something.
Guns of Icarus alliances is the DLC pack
Ah,
that Muse will be putting out. It's already available for pre-order, ironically. It appears to be the co-op that has been so robustly demanded and talked about for quite a while now.
yeah, that's gonna be awesome. And as our clan is a huge proponent of this game, I'd advise you to go ahead and take a look at that. It might be the interesting change up for a game in your game library you've been looking for.
Absolutely. If you're interested at all in this, go ahead and go to www.humblebumble.com and go ahead and search for it in the store. Guns of Icarus Alliance. It's looking pretty amazing. They also have the original Guns of Icarus game, the Flight of the Icarus, the Icarus, and a few other games made by these studios.
And I'd like to point out right before these two ships reach each other and we gotta start making the calls, you can get this game pretty cheap. I got it for a couple bucks and I didn't see it on sale for lower. I bought it for some of my friends. And it's a blessing and a curse because this game desperately needs a larger user base, larger player base of very invested players. And when you sell a game so cheap, you're buying people that aren't so interested. But nevertheless, we get a battle, and it looks like the widest ship in the game is getting tossed around, no surprise, by the pushy blue team, who's not letting the red team use all those mines on it. But nevertheless, mines are being deployed, and what is soon to become a Mason-Dixon line of explosions.
For sure. I mean, there's enough mines in there to blow every ship out of the sky. So all it would take is one small mistake, and you would basically become the biggest target on the field.
Well, steady now. Well, it's worth pointing
Force
out
of chaos, tickets and hits.
that 4 or 5 mines, depending on your ship, 4 or 5 mines detonated at once if you're in the blast radius of 4 or 5 mines, like that,
Just like
will
that.
sink your ship. End of you. So, mines, huge high risk, high reward weapon. Gotta have the right scenario.
Phobos. Damage
yeah.
beyond recognition.
First of all, I'd really love to point out Phobos push hands. If you never heard of push hands, really cool, really underrated. I suppose it's a sport, and just being a fan of something that I recently learned about that's too obscure in my opinion. I love that name. Great pun. This game is all about naming your ships with puns.
Absolutely.
Couldn't be a better name to come up with on the spot. Just too obscure of a reference for most people, I'd imagine, but I commend it. I really like.
I see a lot of Firefly references. You know, a lot of flying ship references.
Someone's named straight up Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you get a lot of references in this game. And of course, I mean, you know, my own ships are, as I'm Dr. Anonymous, all my ships have, you know, medical terminology as their name. Percocet, scalpel, you know, ambulance, you know, they all have apt medical names.
Oh.
Phobia and
agony.
In agony, no doubt.
I also point out the mine launcher. We've been calling the guns by their kind of abbreviated names. You would come to find if you played this game that there's a large amount of lingo involved, but we've been calling them mine launchers. Their official name is Phobos mine launchers, named after I believe it's Greek mythology, Phobos.
Yes.
It's also the name of a moon.
Ooh.
Forgot what his name is after. I think it's not literally God of Fear. I don't believe, but you know we have the term
Phoebe?
phobia.
Yeah,
No,
Phoebe,
phobia comes from, you know, it's derived from that.
She's the god of terror.
Yeah, terror would be the appropriate word. And it's not Phoebe, it's Phobos.
I call her Phoebe, sorry. Party
But,
boat, not looking
yeah.
like they're having such a fun time.
I'd be pretty terrified if I were a crew on board a ship as a crewmate of any of these ships.
There are more mines than I care to try and count.
Well, I mean, you got 55 on red and 35 on blue maximum capacity, so you're looking about 90 mines on screen if it ever gets that high. Oh, Mobula down. See you later.
Phobia and agony.
Oh, second
Well,
one.
they're out of it.
I'd love to be
Battlestar
aboard one of these
Galactica
ships.
is just
and,
a poor choice of ships in this match, where big hulking ships are just easy targets for mines.
I wish I didn't stop talking after the words I wish I was aboard the ship, because I just said I wasn't. But, I mean, it'd be interesting to know if you were chip damaged to death by the force of a Minotaur, which does do minimal damage, typically negligible, but in these bizarre matches of these chaos skirmishes, everything counts. And typically you're pitted against foes where you're forced to use your least desirable and least common things at your disposal. So I'm looking out for chip damage. If someone gets a kill with a Minotaur, you don't see that every day.
You know, like a Loch Nagar shot with a Minotaur. That'd be funny.
Yeah, Loch Nagar is a type of ammo, and I didn't analyze the ammo that people have brought, but I'll get to that in a second. Loch Nagar is basically a one-shot deal where you get one bullet, and no matter what gun it is, it does 250% damage and breaks almost any gun except the heaviest guns with the most health. So you're
Which would
forced
be
to repair
fantastic for the, galleon here, who can make use of that.
Ooh, we got Force of Chaos and Push
Oh.
Hands in a game of Push Hands with lots
And
of
a
force, and
terrible-
it's very chaotic.
In a terrible Phobos battle.
Oh,
Ooh,
one more and the
everyone's-
goldfish is dead. It might even be chip damaged. Oop,
Oh,
backed
nice.
into some mines. Dust knows exactly what he's doing with that Force of Chaos. Party
He's-
boat laying low.
deciding to relax for a moment, get those fires put out, get some armor back up.
We got the red team's Junker behind the thickest wall of mines, as it can do nothing but lay them, as it has no other guns, has no Minotaur. So it's playing the waiting game. We got Battlestar Galactica getting its way back into the game, but more than halfway down. And Phobia and Agony sneaking its way around, as Spires often will.
See, the only thing that you're liable to see from a Spire is their obnoxious balloon. Everything else is generally pretty easy to conceal.
So, force of chaos moving in, like some kind of force of chaos.
I know.
Laying mines behind. Oh, now's a good time to get to the ammo types that are typically used with the mine launcher. You have what are known as the Lesmont rounds, which, if you're looking at Battlestar Galactica, have just paid off. They shoot faster. They travel faster, and therefore they travel a greater distance before deploying.
Which
so
ones?
Lesmont rounds, of
Yes,
course.
Lesmont.
They get the farthest out there. And then the rest of the ammo for the mine launcher is you choose it in an unconventional fashion. The second ammo you bring is incendiary, but you don't bring it because of its ability to light fires in enemy ships. It's brought because it alters the range. It's a close range thing, as it causes the mines to deploy fairly quickly. The last ammo I imagine these gunners are bringing is Lochnagar, which I explained is one shot. It breaks your gun. It has the shortest distance of any mines as far as deployment goes.
It's because the thing about mines is that they operate off arming time, kind of like the Hades, where they won't burst into flame and do maximum damage until after they've passed a certain amount of time, or a certain distance. Lochnagar reduces ammo time precipitously, which means that, if used on a mine launcher, the mine will deploy almost directly in front of them,
And
which is perfect for disabling pursuers who are trying to grab you.
Gives you a huge blast radius, which will detonate nearby mines. So if you can detonate a mine cloud, you can guarantee yourself a nice kill if anything's within that radius. Oh, and when I say anything, I mean anything. In this game, the only weapons with friendly fire are mines. You can actually mine your teammates.
This is actually a fairly common trolling practice.
Yes. It is.
Let's talk about team composition real quick. If you look on the scoreboard, you can see that the blue team has a pretty heavy advantage when it comes to levels, just in general. And you can kind of see that weighing on the red team as they're kind of falling behind a little bit. Well, the blue team is certainly taking a pounding. I mean, look at the goldfish, Phobos, push ends. Certainly in some dire straits. Red team seems to me like they're more on the defensive. What do you think?
I wouldn't necessarily say that they have any particular advantage with levels. They have two fairly experienced captains and one very experienced captain, being the captain of the goldfish, the Phobos push hands. But their gunners are the same, distribution of experience. You have two mid-20s and then another top 45. And conversely on the red team, you have two expert pilots and one very inexperienced pilot flying the Junker. Which I would say is for the best, because it's just straight mines and you got mines on every side, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get something in arc at any time. But as far as gunners, you have two max level gunners, 45s, and then one low level gunner. So rather than taking it seems the red team in terms of captains and gunners has two experts and one novice, and then blue teams of each has one expert and two mid levels. So
slightly balanced, a little bit balanced.
If you're familiar with the RTS game Warcraft, and I don't mean WoW, I mean the old Warcrafts. You have the different races. Yeah, you have the different races where they have different strengths, and I would say it's like this. You have the huge level distribution on one team and the moderate on the other, and then you have the large amount of mines on the red team, and you got the large ability for pushing in the blue team. So interesting. It's not just a mirror match, which is another thing I love about this game. You can pit, even though it wasn't by choice, you got to pit your cunning against the other team.
Ooh, Force of Chaos, so close to that mine.
So, you got we have
there
two.
goes Force of Chaos.
We had three very distraught ships in the heart of this minefield. Force of Chaos has gone down. But we got the Phobia and Agony against the enemy Junker. And that Junker's getting tossed. It's spinning around. That was about a 270 return in about a few seconds. Not something you can really plan for. That's not the speed a captain's meant to think.
So I'm almost certain that at least some people are using burst rounds in the inside some of these mines. And let me just do a quick recap here. Burst rounds are your mid-range rounds that you put inside the mines.
Let me cut you off. You got a death.
That was a great combo there.
You lost
Anger to Dust Ninja and Phobos Push Hands kind of going at it down there. Phobos though with no armor.
Oh wow. So yeah, burst ammo. I always like burst in the mine launcher, and I was always superseded by captains to take the traditional ammo for mine launcher, being Lesmach, Incendiary, and Lachnagar. But I liked burst because if you can set up a mine cloud, you can flush them out and if you just detonate the burst. If you detonate the burst, it'll capture all the mines in its radius.
It has a huge area of effect because, in case people don't know, burst rounds increase AoE by a very large amount. I believe it's 50%, which is very large because the mines already have at base a really big AoE. So increase it by 50%. You're talking huge hit. One burst mine will affect just about every component on every ship. You know, no matter really where you hit them.
What? Go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, here's another little thing that some people don't know. Burst mines have more push to them than other mines. They have more, it seems like they have more kinetic force. They'll push ships around more than a regular mine. When in a situation like this, sometimes it's really all you need. Just to push in the right direction.
Yeah, it'd be more advantageous for the red team to relax some of that pushing. I would really hope someone on the Junker consider that. Well, there goes the heart. I would say nobody hit those. I would say nothing even destroyed the mines. Like the Minotaurs couldn't have destroyed it. What happens is the mines actually have a timer. I think your mines last for 4 minutes, or possibly 2.
I'll have to check
detonate.
that, but they do have a time limit. And if you use too many mines, your mine launcher can only hold a max 5 mines in the air. If you shoot another mine, it will destroy a mine to replace the new one, to make room for the new one.
Yes, but it's important to note that it won't detonate the mine. If you shoot an excess number of mines, it will just destroy the mine. It will not detonate it. But if you leave a mine out and it depletes its timer, it will actually explode. And I've watched other live streams where the commentators were unaware of this, and it actually led to the end of the game, and no one could figure out why. It was pretty funny. But what happened is an expired mine detonated a mine cloud as a ship was just passing by it, and it ended their competition. It's pretty interesting. But it seems mines are going off in the middle right here. Yep, see all these mines are exploding on their own because they're all firing rapid succession, and now they're all detonating in rapid succession because people have avoided them. Force of Chaos, though, getting tossed.
You know, Dust is just freaking out right now.
Yeah,
screaming
it's a tie
at his
game.
engineers.
A tie game, it's 4-4, and Dust he likes to get aggressive to break ties. So
Blue really came out strong there for a while, but there was a key loss in Phobia and Agony that just led to Red Team having a resurgence.
Yeah, but I was about to commend the Phobia and Agony. They were outmatched for pilots, and he did really well. Also, it seems that one of his engineers has disconnected, and he still pulled it off. So good on him. Meanwhile, we got Battlestar Galactica and Party Boat.
Here's something that not everyone knows who plays the game, is that AI players are incapable of using mine launchers. Even if you tell them to attack, if you only have mine launchers on your ship, they will not use the gun.
Yeah, it's for the best because mines are absolutely hands down the most intelligence requiring weapon. You can harm your teammates, but just in practice, you don't want to put that in your AI's hands. And beyond that, you have to think like chess into the future of steps that's going to go on. And this is all on top of the fact that it's one of the most difficult weapons to shoot accurately. So it's definitely not a weapon for computers in this day and age.
Exactly. I mean, it's right up there in my mind with the harpoon.
I would trust an AI a million times more to shoot a harpoon, which is important to shoot. Yeah.
The only difficult thing about the harpoon is that the drop is so unreal.
Yeah.
But the range is actually very good. I think it's right up there with the Banshee. In fact, like the extra projectile distance it can travel before it'll just drop off entirely. Really impressive. But Battlestar Galactica kind of hanging back.
Ooh, the Phobos push hands trying to make its way out, drops some tar, but got disoriented by those. I suppose only Force of Chaos is Minotaur. Just goes to show you what you can do with the Minotaur if you use it correctly. And I know Dust Ninja for sure. I know we talk a lot about him, but he's our leader and he's a proponent of many of the tactics. You could see them at work in all these matches. He knows how to get a Minotaur done, and sure enough, he didn't let the fish escape. This is aggressiveness paying off.
Force of Chaos and just angered to Dust Ninja ganging up on Battlestar Galactica, it looks like.
Yeah, it's the only that's Dust Ninja's Spire. Force of Chaos is the only Minotaur on that team, and you should put it to use to tie up the game. Okay.
See, the bad thing about there's a good and bad thing about the Minotaur. And the good thing is that it's great with big ships like the Galleon, you know, because they have such a big hitbox. You know, it's so easy to get them. It's so easy to get them spinning out of control. The bad thing about them is that it's actually fairly easy to counter their spin, and all you have to do is turn into the fire. If you are facing the enemy that's shooting you with the Minotaur, the likelihood of you being spun is very low.
So looks like we got some oh, never mind. I was gonna call a play that some of the Galleon was gonna do, but it looks like they're unable to follow through. They're using their Minotaur side, which is both their sides, because it's a Galleon, to actually push the spire into the ground. And it wasn't working, but now it seems to be working marvelously. And it's just too many Minotaur shots to pilot through.
Oh, it looks like Dust just went down.
Yeah, and blue team's got one more to win. And it looks like it's going to be this Junker who has no way of pushing anything. So unless that thing tosses out a wall of mines, which it's unable to do now, it doesn't look too bright. Meanwhile, we got Party Boat, the red team's modular back here, with half health. And not a whole lot of idea what's going on, doesn't seem.
He looks like he's turning and facing an enemy I can't see.
Yeah, you can really see the
I see.
confusion.
There's a spire hidden in the dust that he found. Probably Phobia and Agony.
You have a good old Spire duel between Phobia and Agony and Force of Chaos, possibly for the win. Meanwhile, Phobos Push Hands is chasing down the red team's Junker.
And they just did a successful target. But they ended up getting mined in the process. So that's one of those give and take moments.
I would say Phobos Push Hands is doing pretty well. Hit one mine, if even that. Meanwhile, the ship that's already a third of its health has just ran into some tar, having difficulty with all its components. But it seems to be left alone. They're gonna focus. Seems like they're focusing Party Boat, and I don't imagine it's gonna last very long. They're backing up, and it seems to be they're close to the edge of the map. So unless they start, ooh, they hit a mine that forced them beneath the line. pretty, they can't be below that cliff. They need to launch those mines. Yep, there you go, wall mines. Stop push hands from pushing them back any farther.
And that's actually the perfect place to put him too, is in the clouds, where visibility is near zero, where, the enemy's going to approach much more carefully.
At the same
or at least
time,
you think they would.
At the same time, you don't want to touch the grounds, and you got an incline back behind him. You can see he's rotated 90 degrees to avoid that, but he's going to have some difficulty evading. He's being focused.
Oh, nice. They're trying desperately to get the kill.
They got no
but
armor.
It's a double-edged sword. Using mines that close to your allies, there's a decent chance you're going to hit them at least once.
Ooh, they might hit that mine. See, they're delaying repairing their own armor. And now the balloon's out, likely due to a fire that's been unattended. I know on Modulas it's very difficult to service all the parts because it's a large ship with a labyrinth-style deck on the inside. And the hull and the balloon are on opposite sides.
Thankfully for Party Boat, Force of Chaos baited in and has begun bombarding. Agony,
looks like it's over.
Those mines
They're
are
burning hydrogen, getting out of there. They got a sliver of health and no armor. If they touch anything, they're dead. And the blue team's got those Minotaurs, which might actually grind it down.
Now they got some armor up.
I can see they're using the Phoenix Claw to assist their rotation
Try and
speed.
turn. It looks like it's going to
Might be a
over.
ram kill. They lost an engine on that Mobula. Looks like the goldfish is going to ram them. Oh, so close to death.
It is absolutely, it's
Junker's
die hard
got to
time.
stop him. Yeah.
Party Boat intelligently flips it into reverse.
And you gotta note that Force of Chaos is using that Minotaur from beneath to really screw up the gun arcs of the push hands.
Party
But
Boat
now
drove
they're
into
getting,
some mines.
Yep, 6-6, and looks like they're all moving towards the goldfish.
Force of Chaos accidentally had a little bump there.
Party Boat's still struggling to get its repairs up. Just got its balloon back.
Yep, they got their balloon back up, and their armor's almost at full.
So if they can just kill push hands before Galactica and Phobia and Agony get here, I'd say those mines are detonated because either a timer.
That galleons are very slow, and the galleon is not burning any kind of it's not burning anything. Oh, everyone took some hurt there.
Explosion there.
Force of Chaos on his way down.
Party Boat just bumped up to a random mine. That's unfortunate. Phobia and Agony might do it in. It's a prime target. Yeah, you got all that Modula armor, but won't save you.
Oh my.
Ram kill from a Spire. I'd say it did pretty good of doing all that dodging in that pitiful condition.
Yeah, that took some good action right there. So at the end of it, blue team 7, red team 6, down to the wire, crazy. Crazy and chaotic, just the way we like it out here.
Yes, for sure.